One of the deepest sorrows in Chris Stapleton's life was the passing of his father, Herbert Joseph Stapleton Jr., in 2013. Herbert, a coal mining engineer, was not only a father figure, but also a great inspiration to Chris. The loss left a huge void in his heart. To cope with the grief, Chris and his wife, Morgan, decided to take a cross-country road trip. It was during this trip, while driving through New Mexico, that he wrote the song Traveler, the title track of his debut album. Chris has shared that the entire album Traveler was dedicated to his father, as a way to remember and honor him. The pain of losing his father not only affected Chris's personal life, but also permeated Chris's music, giving it a special emotional depth. Before becoming a performer, Chris Stapleton spent more than a decade working as a songwriter in Nashville. He has written over 1,000 songs, many of which have been hits for artists such as Kenny Chesney, Strait, and Luke Bryan. Despite his success as a musician, the desire to perform and share his own music has always burned within him. In 2015, Chris released his debut solo album, Traveler. Initially, the album did not receive much attention from the media and the public. However, the turning point came when he performed with Justin Timberlake at the 2015 CMA Awards. This impressive performance attracted great attention, bringing Traveler to the #1 position on the Billboard 200 chart. This success not only affirmed Chris's talent, but also opened a new chapter in his career. However, the artistic path was not always full of roses. Chris had to face failures and challenges. Before Traveler, he released the single What Are You Listening To in 2013, but it did not achieve the expected success, leading to the cancellation of the planned album. These failures made him doubt his chosen path. However, with the support of his wife and his passion for music, Chris continued to persevere and never stopped trying. One of the most emotional moments in Chris's career was when he received the award for Album of the Year for Traveler at the 2015 CMA Awards. While standing on stage, he could not hold back his tears, sharing that he did not expect his music to be so warmly received. This is a testament to Chris's relentless efforts and belief in himself, despite going through many difficulties and challenges. Chris Stapleton's career continued to flourish with subsequent albums such as From a Room, Volume 1 and 2, and Starting Over. Each product has received praise from critics and audiences, affirming his position in the country music industry. Despite his many successes, Chris always remains humble and continues to dedicate himself to music. Looking back on his journey, Chris Stapleton has experienced many emotions, from the pain of loss to the joy of success. These experiences have not only helped him mature in life, but also enriched his music, bringing audiences authentic and emotional works. Ever since he was young, Chris Stapleton has had a burning dream of standing on stage, performing his own songs, and bringing the most authentic melodies to the audience. But to reach that peak, he had to go through a thorny path, where each achievement he achieved was the result of perseverance, passion, and silent sacrifices. Before becoming a famous artist, Chris started his career as a songwriter in Nashville. This was the time when he was diligently writing music, sometimes facing rejection and skepticism from music producers. He wrote more than 1,000 songs, but not all of them were accepted. Many times, his compositions were rejected without any explanation. There were times when he wondered if he was on the right track. But then, little by little, his songs began to be recognized. Big artists like Strait, Kenny Chesney, Luke Bryan, and Adele have picked up his songs to record, and many of them have become huge hits. Writing for other artists has helped Chris build his reputation, but he still feels like there is something missing. He doesn't just want to be a behind-the-scenes musician. He wants to perform his own songs directly and let the audience listen to the music from his own voice and soul. That's why, in 2015, Chris decided to release his debut solo album, Traveler. This album is not only a milestone in his career, but also a deep tribute to his late father. When it was released, the album didn't receive much attention, but then, thanks to an explosive performance at the 2015 CMA Awards with Justin Timberlake, Traveler became a phenomenon. It climbed to #1 on the Billboard 200, won numerous awards, and established Chris as one of the most beloved country singers. This success opened a new phase in his career. Subsequent albums, such as From a Room, Volume 1 and 2, and Starting Over, continued to be well received by audiences. Chris not only made his mark in the country music scene, but also expanded his influence to other genres such as blues, rock, and soul. He has won 10 Grammy Awards, 15 CMAs, and many other prestigious awards. But for Chris Stapleton, success is not only measured by awards or album sales. The most important thing for him is to stay true to his music and continue to create meaningful songs. Every time he steps on stage, he not only sings, but also tells his own story, connecting with the audience through each lyric and melody. That is the greatest achievement he always strives to achieve. If there is one thing Chris Stapleton has always treasured in his life besides music, it is his family. His love story with his wife, Morgane Stapleton, is a beautiful one, but it is not without its challenges and quiet sadness. Chris met Morgane while they were both working in Nashville. Morgane, a talented singer-songwriter, was immediately attracted to Chris's powerful voice and musical style. They quickly became friends and gradually developed feelings for each other. But their love story was not always smooth. Morgane witnessed the most difficult years of Chris's career. When he was still struggling to find his place in the music industry, she was always there to support him, encouraging him whenever he felt like a failure. There were days when Chris would come home depressed, wondering if he should continue pursuing this path. At times like these, it was Morgane who kept him grounded, reminding him of his talent and passion. Despite their beautiful love, their marriage was not without its challenges. Chris was an artist, and that meant he was often away from home, on tour for weeks, even months at a time. This left Morgane feeling lonely at times. She was not only his wife, but also his career companion, but there were times when she just wished he would spend more time with his family. In addition, Chris's growing fame also brought a lot of pressure. When an artist becomes successful, their lives are no longer their own. Rumors, media scrutiny, audience expectations, all of these things sometimes created tension in their relationship. There were nights when they argued, misunderstandings that made both of them think a lot. But the most precious thing about Chris and Morgane is that no matter how difficult things get, they always find a way to overcome them together. They know that love is not only about happy moments, but also about patience, forgiveness, and lasting friendship. Morgane is not only Chris's wife, but also his biggest support, the one who keeps him strong and not caught up in the whirlwind of fame. In Chris's songs, you can feel the deep love he has for his wife. Songs like Millionaire or Joy of My Life are his love messages to Morgane. No matter how many challenges they face, their love remains strong, and that is the most precious thing Chris has in this life. If there is one thing that Chris Stapleton is more proud of than his brilliant music career, it is his role as a father. He and Morgane Stapleton have 5 children together, a large and loving family. But along with that happiness also comes responsibilities, worries, and moments when he feels he has not really fulfilled his duty as a father. Chris Stapleton is not an artist who lives for fame or luxury. The most important thing to him is always his family. But the work of an artist means that he has to constantly tour, record, participate in interviews, award ceremonies. The time he spends with his children is therefore limited. This makes him feel guilty towards his children many times, especially on important occasions when he cannot be present. He once shared in an interview that there were times when he left home to go on tour for weeks at a time, and when he returned, he felt like he had missed an important part of his children's lives. The first steps, the first words, the laughter in the morning, these were moments that he could never get back, and those were the things that hurt him the most. But no matter how busy he was, Chris always tried his best to make up for it when he could. He was not the type of father who showed his affection in a big way, but his little actions were always filled with care. He often spent his free time playing the piano for his children, drawing with them, telling stories, or simply sitting next to them and listening to their innocent words. Morgane Stapleton, who is not only his wife but also a wonderful mother, plays an important role in maintaining the balance between Chris's work and family. She is the one who takes care of the children for him when he is away from home, the one who helps him arrange his time so that he can be with them as much as possible. There is a special story that Chris once told with an emotional voice. It was the first time he held his twins in his arms. When he looked into their little eyes, he realized that nothing in this world is more important than family. That was also the moment he decided to always try to be a better father, no matter how busy, no matter